Hello everyone and welcome to another Minecraft mod showcase. The first thing you'll notice is I've updated my skin a bit. It's a few small touches, but I really like how it looks. I apologize for the delay between this video and the last mod showcase. I ended up getting really busy, but all that's sorted out, so I'm back to making mod reviews and hopefully they will be coming a lot more often. Anyway, hello there. You weren't supposed to show up yet. But we'll get to him later. I have made a quarry to show off. I'm actually not going to be reviewing one mod today. I'm going to be reviewing 5. This is Levia's mods by, I'm going to horribly mispronounce this name, but Leviatani. I'm sorry for the mispronunciation. But yes, this is a collection of mods that all add in various metals and gemstones. We have Levia's metals, Levia's barrels, Levia's garnets, Levia's quartzes, and Levia's corundums. Yes, that is how it is pronounced. So yeah, all of these mods, while they do add in various things on their own, the main thing they add in, as you can sort of see, they add in full tool sets and full armor for everything. We're going to be getting to the armor sets and the villagers eventually. We'll be getting a closer look at them. However, let's get started with one of the mods. We'll be starting in this sort of quarry. I'm proud of how this looks. We'll be starting down here with the Levia's metal mod. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention, but as always, if you want to try the mods out for yourself, they are in the description below, so go and give them a look. We're starting with Levia's metals, and you can already see the various metals in the ground. I got them all here, but I also have them in the chest. This mod adds in 5 metals, but it also adds in tools for copper, as well as copper nuggets. So yeah, you can get tools and armor with copper now. Now, a big strength of this mod is that these armors are not, like, exceptionally powerful compared to vanilla. They fit in pretty well, and they just offer an alternate look. Like, for example, if you want iron grade armor, but you don't like the lighter color, you can go with titanium for a darker color. Now, one thing with the mod, unlike all the other blocks over here where every single word is capitalized, here they are not capitalized, but it's just a small visual thing. Every single metal has ingot form, nuggets. You can make blocks out of the raw version or the standard version, and some of these look pretty nice. I'm just going to take all of them to show them off, but like you got, well, this looks mostly like iron, but a bit lighter. You got a platinum block, which I absolutely love, and then titanium, chromium, and tungsten, all looking similar, but they can make for some pretty good base decorations and such. Now, one thing I have to bring up, let me use aluminum for this. Aluminum is actually the one that isn't affected by this. Let me use tungsten. So one thing I have to mention is that the armor, it has relatively normal armor values. 300, 400, 450, 370. This is all high durability, but tungsten it's a high-end metal. You're meant to get it later on, so the higher durability makes sense. But then you look at the tools. 1,300 durability. Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason all the tools have ridiculously high durability compared to the armor. Like, the armor is fine. I feel like the tools may need to be tuned down a bit, because it's not as if you're going to be running out of valuable materials, because these add in so many. So I don't know, I just feel as if that value is too high. But they still look incredibly pretty. And aluminum actually drops between 2 to 4, I think. Aluminum is very great. It is not quite iron, I don't think. Like, I cannot mine iron stuff. Aluminum makes a very good decorative alternative to iron because of how much of it you can get from here. But then you got the various other pickaxes. You got titanium next, which can mine iron grade ores. The same goes for chromium and tungsten. They can also mine iron, and I believe that chromium and tungsten can mine obsidian. Hold on, let me get some obsidian to test this out. Okay, chromium cannot, but tungsten actually can mine obsidian, and mines it fairly fast too. However, One of these does have an interesting property, and that is platinum. Platinum does not behave like iron, it behaves like gold. Platinum has very high enchantability, but it has a lot less durability than the other sets of tools, and it mines incredibly fast. 128, which is not too bad. It's around a stone pickaxe. These metals alone, they look very nice. I would love to use chromium or tungsten builds, despite them being the rarest in the mod. That is Levia's metals. That's not all the mod has to offer. We still have the suits of armor and the villagers to take a look at. But before that, let's go and take a look at the other ores the different mods have to offer. Right over here, we have barrels. Now, barrels are actually... emeralds are a type of barrel, so these all add in stuff related to emeralds. And you also get emerald tools with it. Once again, really high durability, like just aquamarine to emerald. They are pretty high, yeah. But the blocks here look beautiful. I really like each and every one of these. In fact, I can see a use for every one of these. But yeah, you got aquamarine, heliodor, morganite, goshenite, and red beryl. Right over here, red beryl, this is better than diamond, but it also is weaker than diamond. 150 times rare. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what the advancement says. All of these are iron grade or above. So you can get a good amount of use out of these. This also adds in emerald weapons, armor, and tools. So that was Levia's barrels, and here is Levia's garnets. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. One final thing before we move on from the barrels. The barrels can only be found on mountain biomes, just like emeralds. So you can't just find them anywhere, so if you want to use one of those blocks in construction, you're going to have to find a mountainous area. But aside from red barrels being rare from diamonds, they shouldn't be too difficult to find. They have the same spawn area as emeralds, so they can spawn high up. And next up comes garnets. Levia's garnets. And over here you can see them all, and hold on, I'm going to show off all of these, but I have to show off this one first. Almadine. I love Almadine. It is less like shiny than the others. Like you can see how shiny they are. Almadine is a sort of duller color, and I really adore that. It looks amazing, but all these are great too. One thing I have to say about that I love about this mod is the like building variety that you can do with the different blocks they add in. Granted, it may be a challenge to get in survival mode because, well, they're ores, but if you're looking to build in creative mode or just mine quite a lot, and that's a lot of advancements for pickaxes. Also, all the ore comes in deep slate variants as well, so you won't have to worry about all the ore sticking out too. Spessarentine, melantine, and almadite requires stone, while these three over here, pyrope, rhodolite, and uvalite, all require iron. That is 3 out of the 5. There are just 2 more to show off, and yeah, we'll get back to these later. They are empty for a very specific reason. Going down into the mines, we have 2 more mods to show off, the next of which being Levia's Quartzes. I am not the best when it comes to making geodes. So yeah, the plan was to remake every geode in like this area, but I am not the best at making geodes, so instead we'll be going to a different world to show them off. So yeah, be right back. And just like that, we are back with a very neat green geode, a large one at that. This is Praziolite. I have to show off this armor. I have to show it off. This comes close to diamond, but once again, you can only find it in geodes like this, so it may take some time for you to find it. And also, if you look at the armor, it has a unique design. It's not just a standard armor design, and I do really like this as well. But this is far from the only quartz. Imagine building, like, using this as a building block. Okay, maybe not this one. I personally am not too big a fan of the shade of green, but that's just me. I don't like this kind of green. It's nothing against the gemstone itself. Just like, as long as you find one, you'll have more than enough because it breaks into multiple shards, and also, just like standard amethyst, it grows back. Okay, this one is not growing back, but the one I mined up here started growing back. If you find one, you will be set for your gear. Oh yeah, that reminds me. One other thing. Amethyst also has an armor set now. It has armor set and tools. I'll be showing off those in a bit, but yeah. With Levia's metals, Levia's barrels, and Levia's quartzes, you can add armor and tool variants to all the vanilla gemstones and metals. Next off comes quartz. Not nether quartz, standard quartz. This is overworld quartz. It cannot be used for standard nether quartz recipes. You have to use nether quartz for those. But all of the quartz types added in the mod can also be used for amethyst purposes. So you can use any of the crystals shown off here in tinted glass and spyglass recipes. They both work. I also forgot to mention it, but I adore the sounds of walking on these crystals. It sounds so pretty. Here we have my absolute favorite one added in by Levia's quartzes, which is smoky quartz. It's so pretty. I like the mix of like standard quartz with a darker brown. It looks very nice. Next up, rose quartz. For those of you who wish there were more pink blocks, well, here you go. These mods actually add in a lot of pink for building. Look at this. It's a very bright shade of pink. As with everything else, you got your tool set. I just have the pickaxe here, but it's a full tool set. You got the quartz, and you got the various rose quartz related blocks. Next up, citrine. If you have ever wished, boy, I wish that I could create orange, you now can. This looks like it could make for like a beehive type thing if you don't just want honey all over, or honeycomb all over the place. So a lot of the quartz are the same quality, so you can simply go with whichever one you think looks best. And last but not least, ametrine. Ametrine is a bit better than the others, and it is it looks like a mix of citrine and amethyst. So yeah, this mod adds in 6 different types of quartz. So these first 4 mods, not counting the additions to amethyst, emerald, and citrine, these add in a total of 22 different crystals, gems, and metals that you can use, and all can be used in the making of tools, armor, and all can be used as building blocks. But that's only 4. Where's the 5th one? Well, the 5th one is a bit special, and we'll get to that right now. The 5th one, if you remember, is Levia's Corundums, and these right here are Corundums. The mod adds in a bunch of different sapphire types as well as rubies. Now these Corundums, they are incredibly rare. They are rarer than diamond, and you can only find each type in a specific type of biome. For example, these yellow ones can only be found underground in the desert. And to top it all off, their gear and tools are slightly worse than diamond. However, Corundums have 2 interesting things about them. One, the tools, look at them. They look amazing. I need to show off the axe. This looks great. And of course, Corundum can mine everything diamond can. However, they have an additional effect. When you wear a full set of a certain type of armor, you get an effect. Now these effects, quite honestly, can be a bit broken at times, but they are very fun, and it makes it very satisfying if you put in the effort to get a full set of armor with them. Yellow sapphire, once again, can only be found in the desert, and they give you jump boost when you have a full set. So, up we go. The jump boost can be pretty handy when traversing, so if you're going out to explore, it makes a nice set. Now here we have a pink sapphire. The block designs for the Corundums all look the same, but these... Now pink sapphires can be found in 2 separate biomes, cherry groves and flower forests. So if you want pink sapphires, you're going to have to check for those areas. Wearing a full set of pink sapphire armor gives you slow falling. I made a mistake. Pink sapphire gives you slow falling, so if you are navigating a mountainous region, just equip them and you can not have to worry about fall damage. And next we have blue sapphire, which this is one of my favorite looking armors, or at least my favorite looking block, because yeah, this looks cool. They can only be found in deep ocean, deep cold ocean, deep frozen ocean, deep lukewarm ocean. So all deep oceans except for warm ocean, I believe. And if you wear a full set of sapphire armor, you can sort of guess the effect, but it gives you permanent water breathing, which is very handy if you want to navigate underwater and very helpful for ocean monuments and such. Right. Deeper into the caves we are, and we are suddenly stopped by a pool of lava. But that is not going to be a problem, because over here we have ruby. Now, ruby is only found in windswept savannas. It'll be a challenge to find them, but the effect you get for them is really good. Full set of ruby armor gives you fire resistance. Oh yeah, also, you may notice the advancement is worded a bit odd. 120 degrees Celsius are nothing, whereas a full set of ruby armor. Now, the wording on the advancements may not be the best at times, but the developer, English is not their first language, so it's not a problem. Although there's one thing of note. You have aluminum block, platinum block, titanium block, you got rhodolite block. These do not quite match the vanilla blocks, which if you go to a vanilla block, the gemstone is block of emerald, block of lapis, block of diamond. It's a small thing, but just keep that in mind if you are searching it up, that it doesn't quite match 100%. So yeah, as with a fire resist potion, you still are slow in lava, but it gives you complete immunity, which makes going to Nether incredibly easy. I will not take this off while I am actively on fire, because that I don't think will end well. Next up, we got green sapphire. Now, green sapphire is interesting in which it can only be found in bamboo jungles or lush caves. So one rare biome and one fairly uncommon biome that can only be found underground. So it's a bit of a challenge to get, but it gives you speed 2. Speed 2 if you get a full set. This might be a bit powerful. Speed 1 would be a bit more balanced, but if you don't care about balance, this makes you incredibly fast, which is incredibly fun. Oh yeah, also, forgot the block. Here's the block. I like how it looks. Oh no, it has suddenly become dark. Whatever shall we do in this predicament? The answer to that is incredibly simple, and it comes after clearing my inventory a bit. I've been forgetting to do that. This is purple sapphire. What purple sapphire does is if you put on a full set of purple sapphire, you get night vision. You just get permanent night vision, which, if you think about it, is insanely strong. Because you never have to rely on torches again. Well, I mean, to stop mob spawns, yes, but you don't have to worry about running out of light in a cave. You may think, wow, I'm definitely going to use this. Well, about that. Purple sapphires can only be found in mushroom fields. One of the rarest biomes in the game. You're going to have to go out of your way incredibly so to find these, and it will take a while. But if you're able to get the achievement of being able to find this beautiful purple gemstone, you get incredibly good armor. Continuing on, now that we got night vision, we can see a path has opened up here. So advancing even deeper into the mines, we get to another cavern deeper inside with orange sapphire. Orange sapphire can only be found in badlands, eroded badlands, and wooded badlands. The block here I especially like. It looks almost molten or such. Now, one thing you might notice around here is all of the obsidian. Well, there seems to be something under here, I guess, so we need to go ahead and mine it. Now, mining obsidian, as always, it takes a while. It's challenging. It's a hard rock. That was supposed to be obsidian. Pretend there was obsidian there. That took a while, but with orange sapphire, we can speed it up because this gives us haste. Why is the haste icon so wide? I never noticed that haste was so wide. But yeah, no, we got haste, so mining obsidian goes significantly faster now with the pickaxe. Underneath here we have uncovered the last type of corundum that gets added in. This is white sapphire ore. And white sapphire ore, what it does is... Well, I'll show you. First of all, the block. It looks pretty as always. So what White Sapphire does is it gives you Strength 2. Permanent Strength 2. It can be found in the Grove, the Frozen Peaks, the Jagged Peaks, and Snow Slopes. So, Frozen Mountains, it's not exactly that uncommon, but Strength 2 is absurdly strong. Like, let me test it out, let me give myself a zombie spawn egg. Let me give myself a zombie spawn egg and start punching it to see how much damage I do to it. I forgot we were in Peaceful. Let's see how much damage this does so you can see just how strong Strength is. 3.5 hearts of damage from a single punch, like an unarmed punch. It will two-shot a zombie if you crit, which is absolutely absurd in terms of strength. It is still rarer than Diamond, of course, but I feel as if Strength 2 may be a bit of an overkill. You are a bit strong, but I like how you look. You're still pretty. If you get that, you are going to be set for a long while, essentially. It is powerful. That was all the Corundums. However, the mods aren't done yet because we still got these guys and the armor. But there's one thing I want to mention first. You can make beacons out of these materials. All of the metals, all of the crystals, all of the gemstones, you can make beacons out of them. So yeah, if you ever want a really fancy or futuristic looking beacon, you can have them. Corundums adds in 8 different new and rare gemstones for you to make use of. And that's why I got these 8 armor stands here. I was planning on having a whole separate building like an armory or such for these, but it seemed to make sense with the mine around here, like the mine with the quarry, so if I end up making a armory down the line, I can move these over, but for now. And there we go, here we have the full set of Corundums. With all the different ores and gems and such, there are so many new armor sets and such. I'm going to just give a quick look over of all these, but hey, feel free to leave your favorite in the comments. My favorite being the blue sapphire. I love the color blue. In case you couldn't tell, I love the color blue. Over here we got barrel armor, and barrel armor, I don't know why, but just I guess the way it's shaded, it looks very nice. You also have emerald armor here. My favorite, emerald or aquamarine. I just like how vibrant they are. And here we have the quartz, the 6 new ones the mod adds in, as well as amethyst gear. And you already know which one is my favorite from here, smoky quartz. Over here we got the various metals, as well as copper. And out of these, I have to say it's either platinum or titanium, but I think I'm going to go with titanium. I like darker shades, in case you couldn't tell. Titanium fits perfectly with that. And finally, we got the garnets, of which almadine all the way. And now we move on to the villagers. Now, each of these mods adds in their own villager for that mod, and they don't appear naturally, but with these various tables, you can spawn them. The tables have no purpose other than to get the villager to appear. However, I do have to mention one odd exception. All of the various tables in this mod can be made simply by taking any 4 wood, placing them in a square, and then placing the respective gemstone above it. So for barrels, you need 2 aquamarine. For Corundums, you need 2 rubies. Garnets, you use rhodolite. And metallurgists, you use platinum. Now, that's 4. What about the quartz table? The quartz table is similar. You just have the square of wood and 2 quartz above it. Standard quartz, not nether quartz. However, what's strange about it, though, is that like when you search up table, it does not appear. It does not show up at all in just enough items. And it doesn't even show up in creative mode. Like in the creative mode tab, it does not show up there. You can still craft it and everything, you just can't. Funnily enough, you have to craft it, so it's easier to get in survival than it is in creative mode. I just find it odd. I think it's an oversight. I think that if the mod gets updated, it will be fixed. Now all that's left to do is to show off the villagers, which, yeah, they wander off. I'm going to time set night. Just to bring them back to bed. Gemologist returned first, so let's start off with him. The gemologist uses a barrel table. The gemologist, as you can see, does various trades for barrels. You can trade the barrels for emeralds, and you can trade the emeralds for barrels as well as armor or tools. The trades are a bit expensive, to be fair, like 34 for a Ghost Knight pickaxe, but if you have a lot of emeralds and you're looking to complete a set, this is the easiest way to do it. Also, if you look in the pockets, you have a hammer as well as a gem right here. This gem actually changes with the level of the villager. So right now the villager is master, so it's diamond, and the tiers go iron, a weird light brown thing, which isn't copper, but it looks kind of like wood. I'm not sure what it is. Then you have gold, emerald, and diamond. I like small details like that with the gemstone changing, so if you ever need to know at a glance what your villager level is, you can there. And with quartzes, you get similar trades. You can trade for emeralds, or you can trade for various armor and tools. Same goes for the metallurgist, with the addition of being able to trade some metals for copper. The Garnet villager, he appears to be stuck a bit. He has no intention to go to bed. He's working up late into the night, and I can respect that. I can respect that. He has a busy day expecting that wall. As with the others, you can trade for emeralds, armor, and weapons. And finally, we got the Corundum gemologist. You don't actually get completed armor or weapons from him, because that is just incredibly powerful, being able to get the boost from the Corundum set without even needing to go and find it. However, you can get diamonds from him. As you can see, various Corundums for various gemstones. I like mods that add in different villager professions. I just like seeing a living village with a bunch of different villager jobs in it, so that aspect is great for me. Now before we end the video, I did find something odd. Listen closely to the Almadine. You see how when you put the gear on it, it makes a sound? Now the Rhodolite. Yeah, for whatever reason, the Rhodolite armor makes no sound when putting on an armor stand. It works perfectly for every single other armor. It's just the Rhodolite it doesn't work with. Why that one in particular does it not work with? Maybe Rhodolite is just incredibly silent, who knows? Now that is it for Levia's mods. While the durabilities on tools is like absurdly high, far more than they should be, and a couple of sets of the Corundum have a bit too strong of an effect, I really do enjoy these mods. All of the different armor sets and gemstones they add in are great for style, whether it is building with a certain type or just looking nice. Like, look at this armor I'm wearing. It's like equivalent of iron, but I like this look so much better than that. Just imagine like being on the server with these mods and having a bunch of people all similarly equipped, like same level of armor and weapons, but all just having a different style. Like, just each of your friends has a unique look. I really like that aspect of it. Overall, this is a pretty nice mod. Once again, the links to every one of these mods will be in the description below if you want to try them out for yourself. And if you have a recommendation for a mod for me to check out, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.